towards the group. So, and I think that worked out really well.
Mike, I'm going to ask you a really boring question. How did you spend the day? What did you do today?
I tried to get out of bed for about 4 hours and eventually got out of bed. I went shopping for 15 minutes and came back.
Yeah, quite keyed up.
No, I'm trying to treat it just like any other show, actually.
Yeah. What was it like playing Wembley? To 85,000 people?
I don't know yet.
Don't know. Will you be excited when you get there, do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited already. I'm just not shy. No, it'll be great. It'll be very, very, very scary.
Are you looking forward to the gig tonight?
Yes, a little bit on the nervous side, but we've got the old English summer weather for us. It's lovely.
He was there.
The nervous energy really kicked in on the bus when we got at Carlton Towers, where we were staying in London. We had a large bus to take us to the gig, not limos, just a big sort of bus, and that's where the nervous energy kicked in, because everyone who was associated with it at that side of it, production level on a large sense, and the band were on the bus. And when we got to Hammersmith, everyone was still buzzing along before we got to Wembley. But it's when we picked up the police motorcycle escort that you could really feel the bus rise. You felt something was happening. And then the closer we got to the stadium, it's a large stadium, you've got 70,000-80,000 people streaming in. So you had the feel of it coming in from the outside. The show had been going all day. Police escort coming in, adrenaline starting to pump.
For your own safety, please walk across the pitch.
In actual fact, on that day, I went out ahead of everyone else. I got out there about 4:30, I think, in the afternoon, just because I wanted to see some of the bands that were playing as well. But also, I like to actually go to a venue and sort of get a feel for it and kind of soak up the vibes and everything.
What I remember backstage was one of the more confronting things was that there must have been about 250 people walking around at different points in time. I think when anyone in show business goes through that initial fame kicker, when you get involved in that sort of gravy train of people thing, it's bewildering, and people want to be attached to things that are successful. It's human nature, And there was also, I think, partly due to the other bands' entourages and their tour parties as well, not just ours. There's all kinds of people walking around. These days it'd be a kind of security nightmare, I suppose, but then it was all, part of the character of the experience, I think.
MTV aren't allowed up here, right? Are they up here?
It's the hour and 2 hours waiting, backstage. I hate that. I personally hate it. I prefer to just to walk in and just get on stage. We're just waiting around, and there's people milling about and just talking to you because they're nervous too, and they're sort of asking you questions. And I just don't want to, talk and just have idle conversation. I just want to come lock in and do the job.
The dressing room beforehand was quite special. There were a lot of people around in the dressing room. Wembley management had presented the band with statuettes at Wembley Stadium, saying this is going to be great. Michael Long then was very clever, who was the tour manager, in clearing all the ancillary people out of the studio. And the band and I talked, Chris talked, basically, let's go, let's do this thing.
I don't know what instruments it is, guys.
It was one of those things where you just sort of wanted to get out there and do it, It's the way it is with touring for me, and I think most of the band, it's all the travel and all the promotion and the press and stuff you do is just part and parcel to sort of keep you somewhat occupied.
Hi, it's Michael. And I'm Tim. We're from INXS, and here we are on Saturday at Summer XS playing live at Wembley Stadium. It's our new single, on MTV.
I remember at one point grabbing a beer and a cigarette and going to the toilet and just locking the door and just sort of sitting there to be by myself, smoking and drinking, and just to be able to spend a little bit of time to focus on the day rather than people being, coming at you for this or that or whatever. And I remember just sitting there later on,
a few years back, a friend of mine, Mark Rankin, used to be in a Scottish band called Gun, the lead singer, and he said to me, so what was it like playing at Wembley Stadium, you know? And I said, well, I don't know, I spent a lot of the time sitting in the toilet, actually, you know, smoking and drinking. And he said, so you mean at your pinnacle of your career, what you do is you sit in the toilet by yourself, do you? And I said, yeah, I guess so.
How do you play these things?
I'll get a nice shot of his bum. I'll get it.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you can't mess with my body, it's all mine.
We're gonna make Michael with this tonight.
Oh, show it to me.
This one. It's gonna be nice and smelly after a concert. 2 hours.
Just got to get my thing right here. Okay, ready to go.
Jesus and Children of the Stones.
I've always had this thing about sort of mindset and being positive and you know, Jesus was a really positive person, tried to preach a good thing to a great many people to improve their lives, you know, and it was kind of my way of like saying, dude rocks, you know, like, so I had these shirts printed up. Easy, was as happening as Jesus? Well, decision. Just suddenly had this idea and I thought, look, I'm going to wear a Jesus shirt. Does anyone mind? What? Was the you know, the response from the rest of the band. And I said, you know, yeah, I just think, you know, the guy's kind of cool, you know, he's got long hair, a beard, you know, they nailed him to a cross, you know, he did a lot of great stuff for people. He's the supposed son of God, you know, like how much better can you get?
Maybe you should have got a Mohammed shirt now.
Oh, that would have been fucking perfect. We have a Mohammed t-shirt in 15 minutes. Judith, this is a Life of Wardrobe job. We'd like a Mohammed t-shirt in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Oh yes, the infamous red suit, which unfortunately it's been hanging in my wardrobe ever since. And I've you know, I sort of, I don't know if I was going to out functions or whatever, you know, and look in the wardrobe and see the red suit and go, I can't wear it. Everyone saw it on the Wembley, you know, the Wembley video. I can't wear it. So it sat there for years, and then about 2 years ago, I thought, oh, it's time I clean my wardrobe out. I need some room, you know, and I pulled out all these suits, and the moths had gotten to it, and it had little holes all through it, you know. I was really, really disappointed. But I've still got it.
What about the external cockpits?
The external cockpit.
The indoor, what do you call it? Indoor.
The aluminium cockpit. Turbochargers and integral turnip booster.
Since Joe lost his legs in that terrible boating accident, he's got these
There was one
replacement thighs.
earlier.
Couldn't live without him. Otherwise his knees are up here.
Yeah, the other way.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull that side.
It could be a new thing. I can start a whole new thing. 70,000 people will go home and turn the belts back to front at the end of the show. Every time, I see your face, I see your face.
Could you please be quiet? We're trying to have a conversation over here.
2 days beforehand, on our way to London from, I don't know where we were, somewhere in Europe, and we're, you know, flying to London, and I was getting off the bus at the airport, and I tripped and went flat on my face, and twisted my ankle, like severely, the worst I've ever had a twisted ankle. And so it just freaked me out. Like the 2 days before, I was going, oh God, I'm not going to do the show. I'm not going to be able to move and whatever else. And anyway, luckily, some physio kind of doctor guy came along prior to, you know, going on stage at Wembley and strapped me up and strapped my ankle up, and it was fine. Just went